How to write an effective user story. So if you're new to Agile and user story, I would suggest you to watch the other video in the description that helps you to understand what is a user story. So now let's see how to write an effective user story. So there's a strategy for this that's called invest. So this can assess the quality of your user story. So in invest, I stands for independent. Try to write user story independent. All the user stories should be independent to each other as much as possible so that you can take it in any order. Next, N stands for negotiable. The story should not be set on stone. So it should be flexible to get updated while the project progresses. So this flexibility will allow the team to adapt the new changes in the requirement, and that's what is Agile about. For example, instead of having a feature like the application must have dark mode, instead of that, a flexible user story could be like the user should be able to switch to the dark mode. So this gives way for a lot of discussion, and the requirement can evolve over time. So that's negotiable. Next, V stands for valuable. So it's self-explanatory. Each story should be valuable. It's not that a prep work for development for completing another story. If it's a story, it should be valuable to the customer. So each story should hold a value for the customer. Next, E stands for estimable. So when you create a story, keep in mind that it should be estimable by the development team. If the story is too long or vague, then it needs further refinement and further splitting. For example, if a requirement says that as a user, filter should be enabled. So I should be able to filter my cart. So this is a vague requirement because filter can happen in a lot of things. Can happen by color, size, price, a lot of things. So if you be very specific on the user should be able to filter by price, then that is an estimable size, right? So that is estimable. Next, small. Why small? Because the user story should be completed in a sprint or an iteration. It cannot span across multiple sprints because, as we said, when we complete a sprint, all the stories is ideally should be completed and should provide value to the customer. So the story should be small enough to be taken inside a sprint. And last, testable. So the story should be testable. I have seen a lot of time people creating dev-only story. So that's not the best practice that we should do. Each story should be testable and should pass the acceptance criteria. So that explains the best practice of writing a user story. So always keep in mind about this strategy, invest. When you write a story, or after you write all the stories, probably you can have a quality check on all your stories with this invest theory. Hope this helps.